Hello and welcome back to the TV Show Club, the club where we talk about TV shows that we've been recently watching, viewing and enjoying. Let me know what you've been recently watching and enjoying, and if you've seen what I'm about to talk about, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I was excited for Stranger Things. Stranger Things is one of those shows that I feel like I don't ever crave. I know some people absolutely live and breathe this show. It's not something that I crave. I love it when I watch it, but I'm never like, oh, I need the new season. And I think it's no fault of theirs because of COVID and everything that happened in between. It was a little bit frustrating to see such a time gap between the seasons, and not even this one, but even the previous seasons. You know, I don't think a 5-season show should take 10 years to make. And like I said, I know a lot of it is out of their control, and a show of this scale and production does take a lot of work, but I don't know. I feel like gone are the days where we got a season a year. Regardless, all of that aside, I was excited for the new season. And the first episode, we'll go episode by episode, because I did love it, but I had a few gripes, which I think a lot of people have from what I've seen. But I started the first episode, and I wasn't sure. I don't know if it's because I'd spent so long away from this show that I felt a little bit detached from the characters and the relationships going on, and I'm in a completely different place than I was. I've seen a few people saying this, like, you know, when we saw that first season, the magic of it, and now we're all so much older, and it's like, okay, we're still here with these characters who are still children. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I was struggling a little bit. The acting is a little bit stale from a couple people, and I feel like, you know, some of the acting has always been a little bit weak from the show, but I think you excuse it when they're a little bit younger. When they're a bit older now, it's like, okay, come on, like, get out of the wooden acting phase, the stagnant sort of facial expressions and things like that. It just felt like very staged, which I think is sometimes a Netflix issue more than a show issue. I think a lot of the worlds don't feel relatively lived in. So I was struggling a little bit on the first episode. I think I don't know, like I said, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just because I've not seen it in a long time. I was just struggling to get into it. It was only, and full spoiler warnings by the way, it was only during the intro sequence of episode 2 that I was like, oh fuck, okay, this is why I remember that I loved this show. You know, the Nancy's parents being like attacked and taken, that whole fight sequence was just so brutal and rough, and that did draw me back in. I was like, okay, right, I'll give it the fair chance. I kind of like that sequence. That was pretty cool. The only other thing that I don't particularly love is how they've sort of demystified the Upside Down. I feel like the Upside Down used to be this terrifying place that it was like, if you're going there, it's going to be horrible and you're gonna risk your life every time. And now it's kind of like everyone's just walking in and out like it's just the next town over. I don't know. It's lost its sort of pizzazz, I feel like. They're my only two gripes. The rest of this will be pretty positive. One thing that Stranger Things does as a show really well is character pairing. It's something that's always been a strong suit, is that we have sort of the initial friendships that we know and love from the initial seasons, but it does a really good job of pairing people together and characters together. One of the absolute highlights has been Robin and Will together. They bounce off each other, their characters are brilliant, and yeah, I really can't fault it. And it's really sad to see other character pairings like Dustin's and and Steve's like kind of just in this really rough place. I don't get people's complaints about Dustin's characters online. People saying like, oh, he's just moody, or he's being like a little bit stupid, he's just being a bit frustrating. I don't know if that's because people haven't seen the last season of the show in a while, but this guy has literally seen one of his best friends die, like in his hands die. Eddie just bled out in front of him. Of course he's going to change. Of course he's going to lose that spark that the kid had in season 1. This little kid who was just full of joy and a little bit goofy and wacky. He found someone that he loved, and Dustin's a bit of a interesting character as well, because I feel like when he became friends with Steve, it was kind of like he was conforming to what Steve wanted him to do, you know, the hair and be cool and do this and that. And Eddie really brought Dustin out in himself in just the way that he wanted to, instead of the way Steve wanted to. It was just more about Dustin. And the death is gonna affect him. It's gonna make him act out. It's gonna make him a morbid character. He's not gonna have that spark that he had. And so for people to complain about his character, I'm just like, that makes no sense. And like the fact that he's getting no sympathy or no support off of everyone else, and everybody else has just moved on. Everybody else is like, Eddie's died. Okay, like it's sad, but let's continue on and let's move on to the next. But it's harder when Dustin literally had him die in front of him, and he was so close to him and brought so much joy to him. It's going to affect him in ways that the other characters don't really understand. And I'm really worried because like the sort of tension between Dustin and Steve at the minute makes me think that one of those are going to get killed towards the end of the season, because it's like, it's one of those like kind of predictable things. Just like, oh, you're gonna be all angry at each other, and then you'll make up, and then one of you will die, something like that. But at the same time, I'm like, if you killed off Eddie and then you kill off Steve as well, like, what are you putting Dustin through? You are gonna scar that man for life. So yeah, that relationship's a little bit sad at the minute. The show in general is just always like, I feel like we really underappreciate the show itself in terms of the craft of it, because we've become so used to it over the 5 seasons. The aesthetic, like the attention to detail in the aesthetic, the colours, the hair, the outfits, the props, the sets, the music, the soundtrack, like everything is so pivotal, and we have just become a little bit almost desensitized where we're like, yeah, it's just Stranger Things. But no, like, in season 1 it's something that we all really loved and appreciated, and it doesn't get enough appreciation. Sure, I think the cinematography is like actually, I'm not even going to say that it's a little bit boring, because episode 4 makes up for it entirely. You know what, I'm just going to skip to it. I'm just going to talk about it. The last 30 minutes of episode 4 might be the best that Stranger Things has been, like, over the 5 seasons. Oh my god, like, everything about it, the Demogorgons coming up in the military base, and then just the sheer panic, and then the one long take following Mike. By the way, Mike, absolute GOAT, absolute MVP. Bear in mind, Joyce is there, an actual adult, and he's like, kids, look at me, I will keep you safe, just keep your eyes on me, don't look at that. And he's running. One absolute legend. Oh, what a guy. I think he's genuinely, like, in terms of the kids, Mike's the GOAT, in my opinion. I think he's the best. And that just sequence of the one long take, it really, I was so gripped. And I don't really understand, because, like, one of my biggest gripes in episode 1 was the scene where Eleven is, like, doing her training, and there's so many cuts that it's like actually kind of painful to watch. And you can do a lot of cuts and it can work, but you need to keep it framed. Like, if you're doing multiple cuts, you need to keep her central or over to the left or over to the right, so that I can actually consume what's going on and it not be like bang, 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 bang. Because otherwise I became really aware of the cuts, because she was down here, then and my eyes were just darting all over the place. It made me so self-conscious of all the cuts. I just thought, what is this? Like, that was one of my, I hated that scene in episode 1. To then this one in episode 4, where you've got this one long beautiful take that draws you in and makes you, like, genuinely scared of the characters as Demogorgons are coming out of the ground everywhere and just throwing all of these military people about. And ooh, Vecna's entrance. What an entrance it was. Oh, just what an entrance. And he's got so much aura. He's got so much presence, and I love the makeup that they do on him, and it's just brilliant. It is just absolutely brilliant. And then, of course, the moment with Will. It's been teased from the start. It's been teased from the get-go. Elle literally picks up the character and says magician or wizard or something, and they say it's about Will, and like, it's just nice to finally have a payoff for Will. Like, he has just always sort of been a nothing character. He's just always sort of been a sidelined character. I don't know if it's because, like, we became so close to all the kids in season 1 and grew to love them all, like, for all their characteristics. And because Will wasn't in season 1, I feel like there's always been a bit of disconnect with him and a little bit of annoyance. And Yeah, it's just all gone now because because that one scene makes up for it. Noah Schnapp as well does a brilliant job with that scene and the flick of his, like, I think he's one of the weaker actors personally in terms of the beginning of the show, at least, like in the beginning episodes. But that flick and switch, like, even on, I know he didn't do much, but on his like facials and the way he held himself, it was cool. It was very cool. It was brilliant. The CGI was nice. It was just, it was good. It was just real good. I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up. I don't know how I feel about the reveal of Eleven's sister, kind of sister, being alive still. I feel like she is purely there to tie up loose ends from those episodes that people just don't like, and it'll make you like them if she's cool and she does something really interesting. I don't know if she's going to become some weird like Terminator thing and try to kill Elle, or maybe she gets killed and then that makes Elle go on a rampage. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm really interested to find out. I hate that Netflix, why release them 4 at a time and then wait a month? Just do it weekly. Honestly, I'd much prefer to do it weekly. I think you get more time to digest moments. Like, imagine if we had 3 weeks build up and then we get Will's moment and everyone gets to experience Will's moment together, rather than some people binging it in the first day, other people having to wait a week because they're busy with work. Like, just slow your release down, Netflix. It makes it so much better. But let me know, what did you think of Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1? So many words. But anyway, I'll see you next time on the TV Show Club.